Hello, and welcome back. I'm Hivlik, and this is some ELO series. I'm not sure which one. It's been a while. Mm, I'm feeling motivated. I'm feeling good. It's 9 in the morning. My balls are feeling big, so I'm coming on to record. Oh yikes! Coming on to record some Minecraft. It has certainly been a while. This is no secret, but I got something to talk about today. Okay. It came about when this whole team game mode thing started to be introduced to Badland. It used to always be about arena 1v1s, or if it was teams, it was small groups. Like you would have UHCs that are 2 or 3 teams large, players large. But then CTF came out, where it was 5v5s, and there was the build 5v5 tournament before, but I had never, I don't know, maybe I wasn't really good enough at that game mode to want to do this, but what came about was, I thought, well, because something a lot of you might not know about me is, back on OCTC, which I talk about a lot, I started a team of my own, and I led it for almost 2 years. Ouch. And I had this, when I started, I had this whole philosophy of how a team should work, should pan out. And when Badline brought up that they were having a game mode like CTF, something very similar to OCN, especially with the new standing in the community that I have now, very different from when I started my team, Eclipse. Oh yikes! Holy! Back on OCN, I kind of felt motivated to do kind of the same thing. So I want to talk about kind of my fundamental. I'm not so. I think plan is a strong word, but my concept on how a team should work, or at least how I would lead a team personally. Because I think it's an interesting topic, and I want to say this now because I was talking about it on Twitter, and like 30 people replied, and they DM'd me, "Hey, I'd like to join your team. I'd like to be a part," and it's very well appreciated. But a lot of the idea that I have about my team is that it should be a friend group before a team, before a competitive thing, and that you want to have good synergy long before you play well as an individual, which might sound odd, but I'll get into that later. And when so first and foremost, I need people that I know well myself, at least, that I think would work well together, and that I know well enough to think that they will work together. So I'm not sure if I'm winning this fight. But very sorry. This is not a call for team members, but I'll get into that right now. Essentially, the philosophy I had about Eclipse when I started it back on OCN was that it should be, like I said, a friend group first. That I guess that even if we weren't playing, we weren't practicing, we should still be able to, hang out around each other. That our group should still be each player's on the team's main friend group. Main place to go when they want to do anything, right? So we didn't just play OCN together. We played a lot of Hypixel, a lot of we played some Badline factions because it was around that time period, but we just, and at the start, OCN teams are very much larger than any CTF team on Badline. It was 20 people on the roster, so it was more difficult to have a lot of people that already had a good synergy. So obviously you really can't do that. So I just kind of took people together that I thought would do well together, that I thought would be able to be friends, and on top of some people that were already friends in the first place, and I made it. I tried to make it work. So I think that the first task was building like kind of that team bond, that camaraderie that you see. Oh shit, I'm out of speed. Okay, 9 pots left still. I'm gonna end this quick. Sorry. But yeah, so the first thing that I kind of tried to do was I tried to get people to be friends, to synergize well together, and so that was kind of my fundamental first philosophy, was that we should be doing other things together than just OCN and practicing for OCN. So I tried to make that happen all the time, and but some of that did include practicing. You know, that I think when we practiced as a team, even on individual players, I think it helped people understand that, like, you know, they were more open to criticism, which is huge, and I'll get into that part of it later. But so when, you know, even when I had like 10 people all on a server practicing cannons or something, and I would single someone out, not in an aggressive way, but I would just say, hey man, you specifically, try to work on this, and that kind of built the foundation for like being open to constructive criticism, and that was actually probably the most important thing that any one of my players could have, was the ability to take constructive criticism. Now this kind of builds off of the philosophy about the game that I've had for a while. I'm not sure if I've talked about it on the channel, and if I haven't, actually, I'm gonna go watch back videos and find out. And I can't find a match. I'm gonna watch back videos and find out if I have, but essentially what it is that I think the game is pretty. I don't like to say that the game is easy, because too many people say that, and it's I think it's a far cry from simple. But relative to other games, or really anything, I think it's a pretty, you know, the skill sets are not too difficult to learn. With a good bit of practice, I don't think there's any inherent talent that can't be learned by anyone, essentially. And when I tried to teach these people, I told them, you know, this is my philosophy on how it should work. So I tried to make them all very well-rounded, so that they could all play any position. Because, oh my goodness, chat's flying. Unable to leave. All right. Because this guy's actually pretty good. He's Emerald 2. I played him earlier. That shot. Hello? Oh, that was too close. Alright. I think I can get iron up to emerald by the season close. I think that's my goal. I think I'm a little bit far. Let me check the global leaderboard. I think I'm a little bit far from Emerald 2 Global, but I'm not sure I'm gonna, you know, get number 1 this season, but I'd like to get up there. That's why I am kind of playing. I've been grinding off screen, and I'm going to when I finish this video, because I think I'll practice for next season, I guess. I've been playing a lot. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch, and I was motivated to do this mostly because of Badline Premium, actually. So I think I'll be practicing so that if I do end up starting this team, I'll be able to help teach. It's a little different now because, as I was just saying just now before I fought that guy in Iron, I don't think it's particularly difficult, Minecraft, in any sense. I mean, it does take a good bit of practice to be well-rounded, to be consistent, but my lord. I think I need to start clicking slower. Every time I say this, someone gets mad, but I don't know, I strafe more. I aim better. So the idea, I guess, is that, alright, man, is that Minecraft isn't that hard, and that, I think anyone can really be very, very good at the game with a good deal of practice. And I actually think that's true about a lot of things. I mean, I don't believe that there's any real innate talent to any, like, games. I mean, there are some ridiculous people who got good without much practice. You see some, like, Overwatch players that are just unbelievable. But I think that it is certainly very possible to practice, to understand the ideas of whatever you're trying to get good at, and then to be good at it, you know? Whether you start, no matter where you start from. There's some, whoa! I did not realize I did not have any pots. They must have gone in my inventory. I think there's some merit in that regard to that concept, but so when I tried to teach the people on my team on Eclipse how to play, I gave them all the rules of the game, you know. I kind of showed them how the game works, and a lot of them were good anyway from the start, but I think the big difference between Eclipse and if I make a team now is that I will have a much smaller gap between myself and the rest of my team. So it'll be a little bit harder to teach my team, you know. I think good players, you know, they already kind of know what works for them, and it will be harder to... Ooh, nope. It'll be harder to, like, convince very good players, as opposed to, not that Eclipse was all bad, but certainly not as good as, you know, the people that I think I'm going to recruit for this team. Like I said, my standing in the community is a little bit different now. And I think it'll be a little bit harder to teach good people already what they already know, or at least what they think they already know. And I think that's kind of the point. Finding the balance between what I think that they know and what they think that they know. So, all in all, I think the biggest attitude for a team member in a team philosophy like this is that you have to be, like, open-minded. And I was kind of saying this before with you know, being able to take constructive criticism, because that's how we functioned on Eclipse, and that's how I plan to function on this new team. You know, have a group of friends that get good rather than become friends, or, you know, rather than a group of good players that become friends. I think it's much more effective. I think that the best teams in the past came from people that stick together, that were teams from a very long time, you know, that they got good on that team. I missed that pot because I don't have speed. Ugh, that's too bad. 3 pots. So when I would, like, teach the people on Eclipse, it had to be someone that would take advice well. And I think I'm going to carry that concept onto the new team. I'm going to try to find people that, A, can work well together, and B, each of them individually has to have a reasonably open mind as to that they can improve at the game. Because that's the whole point. And I think that Bad Lion will continue to move towards, its more competitive game modes will start to be a little bit less PvP and more strategy-based, like OCN game modes a little bit. Maybe not all the way to OCN game modes, but that include more block interaction. And I kind of talked about this in that Let's Talk CTF video, that the most competitive game mode of Minecraft that Minecraft can have will have block interaction, and that's what I want to see in its future competitive games. So as much as I can maybe find good PvPers, I'm not so sure that anyone I might find will have a particular inclination to the block interaction type of game modes, and I'm going to try to make them well-rounded so that they will. One player that I think I plan to have on this team, I was talking to him on Twitter the other day, and I ended up explaining to him all the mechanics to water source creation, where I basically went through the laws of what was necessary for a water source block to be created. It's like it needs a full block beneath it. The short version is it needs a full block beneath it. It needs adjacent water source blocks and other stuff. But the point is that I think that is a very good analogy to how I'll be trying to teach these players. A lot of these players already know how to sword, know how to bow, but I can guarantee you very few Bad Lion players know how to shift on shift, know how to cannon, know all the mechanics of, water mechanics. And as useless as it might seem like now in today's game modes, obviously, there's no water in CTF. Let's get some soup. And as useless as it kind of seems now, I just want them to understand kind of how the game, understand that the game has recognizable laws to it. I think the more that you understand those obscure facts about Minecraft, the more you will understand the game as a whole, and the better that you can improve. This is pretty far off topic, but I'm not really sure what on topic is anymore. But this is essentially what I will try to do to this team, is I will try to make each player well-rounded so that they can all perform in places where they might never have seen before, or where they might not have as much experience as whatever game mode they play, UHC, Arena. That they can still play in these situations that they have experienced less. To understand the game better entirely. I keep queuing this guy because he says what ladder he's in. It's the only kits I can queue of him fucking build. So, and I think that's the idea. I'm going to try to find a band of... Ooh, let's get his helmet off. A band of not too well-known people. People that are maybe very good in a specific area that I won't have to teach to them. Maybe who are... who don't have a friend group. Or don't have a very good friend group that will be willing to kind of uproot those relationships they have to... essentially what I'm doing here is handcrafting a friend group so that it can synergize and turn into good players, turn into a good team. And it won't, I mean, it requires like hours of practice and activity with each other, you know. It's only a 7-man roster, so it's a little easier to kind of find friends than it was on OCN, but still, I mean, it's no small task to like get people to like each other, and that's the first task. You know, there are going to be conflicts on the team, and we're going to have to work through them far before we can ever become a mechanically skilled team. And I'm not really sure. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna take some focus. Fuck off. No way. Not sure how this fight is going. There's a lot of lava, my man. I'm gonna have to get rid of that lava pretty soon. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm gonna lose. Yeah, build UHC still aids. Yikes. Let me check how far into this video I am. Like 20 minutes, maybe 20 some. I think I've gotten my point across on how I want to run this team. Maybe what to expect out of me, and my philosophy. I want Bad Lions Future to be competitive, and to do that, there have to be a lot of good teams, a lot of good players, and a lot of good teams. And I don't want people to make a team, disband for the next tournament, make a team, disband for the next tournament, because that's not competitive. That's not competitive enough. So here are my tips and tricks on how to make a team that won't disband, you know, next tournament. I hope that other teams do this, and I hope that none of them are as good as mine. So thank you for watching. I don't really know how long this is because I have to edit off a chunk at the start, so this might be like 18 minutes. But there's no one really in kits, so, and I got my point across. So thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.